Howdy folks, how you all doing? Fubzy here with another great replay for you. Um, just very quickly want to run through a few things on this one about kind of decision making and play the game with your head as opposed to, with the adrenaline pumping through your body. So I'm in the IS6 here, I'm top tier. Now normally your top tier heavies on this will head to the 8 line where the IS3A is, and they will do the similar thing where their T34 is. But if you look at it, they have an IS3, an OHO, T32, T34. These two hold down are going to be difficult to pen. Again, both of these from that distance, I'm not going to be able to hit weak points very accurately. And also, the IS6, although it's quite bouncy, doesn't have great penetration. Even if you were to switch to the premium rounds, you only pick up, is it 217 I think? So you got 175 with your normal rounds, 217 with your gold rounds. So you don't have great penetration. So I'd got an idea that their heavies were going to go there, and sure enough they have. So I'm trying to find where else I could be effective. I thought if I go up the hill and try and lend a hand up there. So that's what I've done. I've pushed the hill, but because I'm a top tier heavy, I am going to be aggressive up here. I'm not going to sit around. Snapshot there, which hits the floor, and I'm lucky that that T32 didn't make his shot count because I wasn't angled very well, and he really should have done. As you see there, I get tracked again, but I'm able to put a damaging shot back in return. As my tracks pick up, I'm able to now move forward and get a better angle using the rubble in front of me and bring another damaging shot. And as you can see, there's 3 tanks here that I'm fighting against, but there are other tanks up here with me. These two not yet in the fight, but the AMX-12T is in there with me, and of course that's an auto loader. Here you see me just reverse side scraping, not doing a particularly great job of it, but the 32 wasn't looking, so I didn't really need to. And then as he looks over, I just angle up a little bit better. Now, there I was trying to get his turret ring. Didn't do a very good job of it, it bounced. And this time you can see me just aiming in on a flatter piece of armour there, just to really try and give myself every chance of penetrating. Because as I say, it doesn't have very good penetration, this tank. Narrowly avoid the artillery there. And I was actually trying to get the tracking shot on the T29. I thought it might help the Super Pershing if I could do so. And then we have a little bit of a crash into one another. Trying to get round on the back of him, and unfortunately he dies just before I fire, so again a bit of a wasted shot. Now, I'm just going to pause it. At this point, I was very much thinking about these guys here, watching the minimap. And I was thinking we need to go back, or we at least need to try and snipe from off the hill. However, they've got a T34 down here, or rather the T34-100, and I think, in a second, yes that's right, the light tank that's coming down spots. So I came over here just to see what would happen while we were waiting for our light tank to see what's there, and then I can quickly decide what I want to do from there. So I'm still thinking at the moment of going back. Then I changed my mind because the light tanks skipped past the 34, and I can see he's very low health. So I decided I'm going to come down and try and take out the 34, and then of course I'll have the VK in a 1v1. That's the plan. Eliminate 2 tanks hopefully. So I'm coming down the hill, and as I get down here I can't see anything to begin with, so we'll push down a little bit further, and there's the T34. Now the 34 puts a hit into us, we bounce ours, and now I've got 2v1, the T34 and the VK against me. So I push out, put one into his track, he puts one into mine. The VK decides he's going to push. Now at this point I cannot angle my tank so that both of them have got to face strong armour. So he fires, doesn't make his shot count. So I push forward, eliminate the one that I can eliminate in one shot, and then I can turn to deal with the second tank. So although the VK was the one that pushed, he was the one that I ignored. And now we're getting a tracking shot, and now I just face hug him just to stop him hitting any weak points. He does in a second manage to squirm away from me, but again, just by keep trying to angle my tank, angle my turret, he's panicking, he's missing his shots. But he does make a little bit of a getaway. Now at this point as well, I can follow him, but I'm spotted and he'll know where I'm coming from. So you see me dropping back, so I'm not going to be proximity spotted. And then as soon as we lose sight of one another, I'll push forward. Now I'm kind of thinking he's going to be round to the left here. So I'm looking round to the left, and lo and behold, there's him and a Borsig behind me. But both of them mess up their shots horribly. Now rather than trying to turn to side scrape, I reverse side scrape to get into position here. Because if I would have been turning, I would have been out in the open. And then I side scrape out from this building, put one into the Borsig, and then quickly nip back into cover. Now as you can see, the Borsig's pushing, but the best he can do is to hit my tracks. I'm now reloaded. The Borsig's not that quick, and I can pull forward, put another shot into him, and if I had any HE shells, I would have been using those now. Unfortunately I didn't, but I take out the Borsig, and the VK had come around behind me, so I'm now onto the VK again, and then again you can see me just face hugging him, just making sure that he can't really do anything to me. Now at this point it's 2v2. Our what was it that was over there? Our Super Pershing takes out the one to make it a 2v1 in our favour, but then he dies. So it's now a 1v1, me versus a Nashorn. And to begin with, I'm thinking about going to kill him, but then I'm thinking, if I do and he's thinking of the same, you know, we could end up chasing each other around the map. I know that he's a one shot to me, I know that I'm a two shot to him. So the last thing I want to do is allow him to come at me from somewhere unexpected, or I accidentally run into him and I allow him to get a shot in and then get away. So instead I decide to come over to the cap circle. The thinking being that I'm forcing him now to either come and deal with me at the cap, and by sitting over here I know roughly where he's going to come from, or I can force him to go into the cap in the hope of getting a draw. And that's exactly what he does. Now, by doing that, I now know where he is. So I've got a minute and a half, and it's only a small map. It's got nice hard ground. There's not going to be swampy land I've got to cross that's going to slow me down. So I can get there fairly quickly. And the cap circle, of course, he could be on the left hand side of the cap circle, which extends a little bit past this corner of the building. This map's not the best. He could be along here, or he could be along here, because again the cap extends slightly into there. You can see my team telling the others that my engine is damaged, just giving them a little bit of false information. As you can see, I stay over to the right so I can check that this area of the cap's empty, and then as I come round I'm looking at where he is, and Bob's your uncle, he's out the game. Okay, so I can tell you that this was an ace tanker, although it's not showing for some reason. We did get the high caliber and the steel wall as well. It was just shy of 9,000 WN8, 4,526 damage, 1424 base XP, 5 kills, so we're just a 1 kill away from a top gun as well. And as you can see, because we didn't really use any gold, I think that very last shot on the Nashorn, was a gold round because we'd run out of standard, so we ended up making 99,125 credits profit. So, oh, and the other one I wanted to show you, hits received 20, non-penetrations 17, was it damage received, a block by armor, potential damage 4,590 potential damage that we could have taken, that we've managed to block by using the armor on the tank. So very enjoyable game, very intense in places. I hope there's things you can maybe pick up from that. IS6, great tank, I highly recommend it to anyone. Good credit maker. Just don't overuse your gold rounds to compensate for the lack of penetration, otherwise you'll lose your credit making ability so much. Okay, until next time, take care.